Welcome to the Prepper Almanac. Thank you for joining us today. It is deeply appreciated. In today's video, we are going to discuss 10 harsh truths about being a prepper. And if I give you value in today's video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Be sure to watch the video to the end and let me know your thoughts about the video in the comment section below. Now let's get to it. 10 harsh truths about being a prepper. You ever think about what happens when the grid goes down? Not just a blackout, but like a real societal collapse. We're talking no grocery stores, no Amazon Prime delivering those tactical diapers anymore. You're on your own. It's a crazy thought, right? Well, there are people who spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff, and it's preppers. They're getting ready for the end of the world as we know it, or even something smaller like a localized disaster. And let me tell you, it's not all sunshine and tactical backpacks. Number 1, it takes time. Look, becoming self-sufficient, really knowing how to survive off the grid and being a prepper, it's not something you learn overnight. It's not like watching a YouTube video and suddenly you're a prepper and wrestling alligators and building a fire with a shoelace. It takes years at times, years of learning, practicing, failing, and trying again. Take gardening, for example. You can't just toss some seeds in the ground and expect a gourmet meal. It's about understanding soil, seasons, pests. It's a skill honed over time. Same goes for everything else, from building a chicken coop that doesn't collapse to knowing how to purify water that won't make you puke your guts out. For me, it took about 7 years to get to a point where I felt truly prepared, where I knew in my bones I could handle whatever crazy stuff the universe decided to throw at me. And even then, I'm still learning, still tweaking my systems, and still finding new things to add to my skill set. You will make tremendous strides in your first year, but the reality is, prepping just takes time. Number 2, prepping can take its toll on your mental health. Let's be real. Spending all your time thinking about potential disasters, economic collapse, societal unrest, it can mess with your head. You're bombarded with news about pandemics, climate change, and political instability. It's enough to make anyone spiral. And when you're deep in the prepping world, you're constantly confronting these worst-case scenarios. It's important to find a balance. You gotta stay informed, but you can't let it consume you. It's like, you can't be walking around in a constant state of fight or flight, waiting for the world to end. That's why it's crucial to build a life you enjoy, even while you're preparing for it to potentially go sideways. Spend time with loved ones, pursue hobbies, get out in nature, and whatever helps you de-stress and find some peace of mind. Number 3, prepping requires discipline. Let me tell you, prepping is not for the faint of heart. It's not a hobby you can pick up and put down whenever you feel like it. It requires discipline, man. Every single day. Think about it. If you're raising chickens for eggs and meat, you can't just decide to sleep in and skip feeding them one morning. Those animals depend on you. Same goes for gardening, maintaining your supplies, and practicing your skills. It's an ongoing commitment. And don't even get me started on the importance of physical fitness. When a disaster strikes, you need to be in shape. We're talking about potentially bugging out on foot, carrying heavy supplies, defending yourself if necessary. This isn't about looking good in a tank top. This is about survival. So yeah, you gotta put in the work. Every damn day. Number 4, people will misunderstand you. Let's be honest, prepping still has a bit of a PR problem. The mainstream media loves to paint preppers as paranoid conspiracy theorists, hoarding weapons and ammo in their basements. And yeah, there are some extreme folks out there, just like in any group. But the majority of preppers I know are just regular people, doctors, teachers, and plumbers, who are taking responsibility for their own well-being and that of their families. They're not waiting for the government to save them. They're taking matters into their own hands to become self-reliant. But try explaining that to your buddy at the bar who thinks you're nuts for having a bug-out bag. You're gonna get some weird looks, some judgment. People might think you're crazy, or worse, they might try to take advantage of your preps if things go south. Number 5, you have to hide stuff. Alright, let's talk about OPSEC or operational security. When you're a prepper, you're going to accumulate a lot of stuff. Food, water, medical supplies, tools, maybe even some self-defense gear. And you can't just leave it all lying around for anyone to see. First off, it's a security risk. You don't want just anyone knowing what you have, especially if things get desperate. Second, you've got to have space. Not everyone has a basement bunker to store their preps. So, you get creative. You learn to hide things in plain sight, disguise your preps, and maybe even create some hidden compartments in your home. It's all about being discreet and protecting your assets. Number 6, you could become a target. Look, I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but it's a reality we have to acknowledge. When you're a prepper, you're potentially putting a target on your back. Now, this might not mean someone's going to kick down your door for your stash of beans and bullets, but there are other risks. You might become the target of ridicule, especially in today's hyper-connected world. People can be brutal online, and being labeled a prepper can invite unwanted attention, even professional setbacks. Then there's the risk of theft. If people know you're the go-to person for supplies, you could become a target for criminals, especially if law and order break down. That's why it's crucial to be selective about who you tell about your prepping activities. Number 7, you have to change your lifestyle. Here's the thing about prepping, it's not just about stockpiling supplies, it's about adopting a whole new way of life. It's about becoming more self-reliant, more connected to the natural world, and more aware of your surroundings. This might mean embracing a simpler lifestyle, reducing your reliance on technology, and learning skills that our grandparents took for granted. Things like gardening, canning food, basic carpentry, and first aid. It's about taking control of your own destiny, not relying on corporations or the government to provide for you, but learning to provide for yourself. It's a shift in mindset, a return to a more self-sufficient way of being. Number 8, you're going to spend money. Let's be real, prepping isn't cheap in general, but I do have other videos on the channel about supplies that are cheap that you can pick up at a local dollar store. I'll leave a link to a couple of those videos in the description below to check out when you are done with this video, but building up your supplies, investing in alternate energy sources, and acquiring the right gear, it all adds up. We're talking about food, water, medical supplies, tools, security systems, maybe even some off-grid power solutions like solar panels. And then there's the cost of training. Learning new skills often means taking classes, attending workshops, or investing in books and online resources. It's an investment in your future, in your ability to survive and thrive in challenging times. But here's the thing, you don't have to go broke prepping. Start small, prioritize your needs, and gradually build up your supplies over time. Look for deals, buy used gear when possible, and focus on building skills that will pay off in the long run. Number 9. You alone are not enough to prepare for or survive Doomsday. I don't care how many guns you own or how much food you've got stashed away, no one survives the apocalypse alone. We're social creatures. We rely on each other. And when the craziness happens, that need for community is going to be even stronger. Think about it. Who's going to watch your back when you're sleeping? Who are you going to barter with for essential goods? Who's going to help you rebuild when the dust settles? Building a network of like-minded individuals, people you trust and can rely on, is essential. These are the folks who will share your burdens, offer support, and help you get through tough times. And number 10 are the harsh truths about being a prepper: fitness and health. You can have all the gear in the world, but if you're not physically and mentally fit, it's not going to do you much good. When disaster strikes, you need to be able to move quickly, carry heavy loads, and defend yourself if necessary. We're talking about basic survival skills here: building a fire, finding shelter, foraging for food. These are physically demanding tasks, and if you're out of shape, you're not going to last long. So hit the gym, go for a hike, learn some self-defense techniques. So take care of your body. It's the only one you've got, and it might just save your life one day. So there you have it, folks, the 10 harsh truths about the prepper life. It's not easy, it's not always glamorous, and it's definitely not for everyone. But for those who are willing to put in the work, to embrace the challenges and the sacrifices, it can be incredibly rewarding. It's about taking control of your own destiny, being prepared for whatever life throws your way, and building a better future for yourself and your loved ones. And who knows, maybe you'll inspire some folks along the way. Just don't be surprised if they ask you for some extra toilet paper when the you-know-what hits the fan. As we wrap up today's video, if you have any questions or if there are any topics that you would like discussed in the future, let us know in the comment section below. We love to get video ideas from the community, and let us know what you think of today's video as well. We always appreciate input. Be sure to like today's video and subscribe to the channel to learn more about prepping, and share the video with others that may have a passion for prepping or are curious about prepping in general. Also, I've put chapters in the description of the video. So if there is a section you would like to specifically go back to and rewatch, you can rewatch only the section of the video that you want. And lastly, based on YouTube's algorithm and your viewing history, YouTube is recommending this next video in the top left-hand area of your screen for you to check out next. Enjoy.